Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 18th. It is 8:33. Let's take a look at what we have on the slate for today. All right. So we just had building permits and housing starts. We have a couple more releases at 9:15, and then a clear slate for the day. I don't think the news releases should lead towards any more or less choppiness. Let's take a look at what happened overnight in oil. All right, let's adjust our levels here too. So overnight low, overnight high, gotta grab that overnight VPOC here. I think that's that. There we go. Got it. And now yesterday's value area high, value area low, and VPOC. Get marked off. All right, and we are just about 100% net short on inventory. Here's yesterday's close. Traded above it a couple times, but for the most part, we've been beneath it. Okay, let's see. Also looks like we are trading in a gap down right now. We are trading below yesterday's low. Yesterday's low is right here. And we are trading below it, so we're opening below yesterday's low. So we'll take that into account when we do our homework right now. Okay, let's bring in our hourly chart. And let's see if there were any levels yesterday that were breached. Excuse me. So we have this line here, this swing that we had traded from above and it held. Now we broke through it, but we haven't really tested it from beneath. I'm going to leave this on there for now. We're also going to add a level for yesterday's low. Okay. And then yesterday's high. Right up here. Okay. We could see that yesterday's opening and throughout a large part of the day, we got contained in the value area from the day before. So look, here's the value area low. Here's the value area high. And you can see how we tested both sides. We tested it down here. We tested it up here until finally, although hang on, I'm sorry, I might be going too far back. Let me see where yesterday's open was. Right here. We tested, oh, here you go. Right in the first hour, we tested both sides. We tested it down here. We tested it up here before finally breaking lower. And making our way down towards this former swing low here. Okay, so let's try to scrunch this in a little bit. Again, I really want to have as much of that profile on the left here. I really want to see this profile when I'm doing my homework. So let's take a look at where we're trading. Get that kind of centered on the screen, 52.36. Okay. I know we're pretty scrunched, but I'm going to change that in just 1 second. I don't need that much available. Yeah, so in all honesty, that profile to the left there, we'd have to have a pretty good move up to get back into that today. So this should work just fine. All right, so hypo 1. We're opening right in this gap zone here. I'm sorry, it's not a gap zone. Right in this area with no levels. Although actually, I'm sorry, it is a gap zone. We're opening right in this gap zone. So what we're going to be looking for is off the open, test into here. This former VPOC, which we had not yet tested during the regular hours, we tested it overnight. Test into overnight low, a hold, and then a turn back up, heading towards the upper end of this gap zone into all these congested levels here, and maybe into testing yesterday's VPOC. That's going to be hypo 1 for the open. Now, there's more that I would, in fact, I'll keep drawing this out. There's more that I would expect at this point, but we'll make this hypo where we come into overnight high, hold overnight high, retest, and break, bringing us up towards yesterday's value area high, kind of creeping back into this micro composite. And that's going to be hypo 1. Okay. Hypo 2 is going to be an open, drive up into overnight VPOC, yesterday's value area low. Look to see if that can fail. Turn back. It could even get up as high as yesterday's VPOC overnight high and look for a failure there. I'll show you something in yesterday's profile in just 1 second. Turn down from there, get back below value area low, kind of set up this head and shoulders looking pattern and make its way down through the gap zone and ultimately down towards overnight low. On the downside here, if we continue to push, we're going to look to see if we can't get into this former VPOC here, right at 51.94, coincides with the value area low from this day. So that's going to be the bottom end of this particular move. Now, we're pretty vacant down here. You really don't have a lot of levels down here. So if we do start pushing down, the move down can happen with some speed. This is going to be hypo 2. Just want to point one more thing out here in hypo 2. Look at this low volume right there in yesterday's profile. So where overnight high happens to be and where we're showing potential resistance, we also get this low volume node, the slight couple ticks above that we could also be the turning point. Okay, so this is going to be hypo 2. Let's see what hypo 3 could be. Let's see. Hypo 3 really is just a matter, could just be staying in this range. Get to overnight low, hold, push back up, get to value area, low from yesterday, hold, maybe extend it out to VPOC overnight high, hold, and then turn back down. That's going to be hypo 3. Okay. That's all the homework we need to do for oil this morning. Let's take a look at the S&P. And again, just going to move my levels around, get everything in order. All right, overnight high, overnight low, value area high, value area low. Last one I need is overnight VPOC. Overnight VPOC and VPOC from yesterday pretty well coincide. Let's also take a look at the overnight trading. We have a really clear double distribution, even more than a double distribution, but we could see up here this low volume area, and then we have like a bit of a low volume area down here. So when we come, let's see what happens between now and the open, but definitely treating this as a potential resistance area. These double swings here that coincides with the low volume area. We could see that potentially hold as resistance. But we have 45 minutes to the equities open, so there's a lot that can happen between now and then. We are predominantly net short. We can see here is yesterday's close. We traded above it just for a little while, and then ultimately made our way down into what became overnight low. VPOC, however, is still up here. So let's wait to see what happens between now and the open. We'll still do our homework, but the S&P homework is a little hard to do this early because a lot can change in the last 45 minutes. All right, let's take a look if there were any levels that we breached yesterday. We did not, which is why it's not surprising to see this push up right here. We have a fairly vacant area in terms of levels. When we got into there, we consolidated a bit, and then when the push came, it came with some strength. Not a surprise to us. The part that was a little bit surprising to us is, if you remember yesterday's open, we opened below the value area low. So we opened below here, and we tested it, it held, and we started pushing down. And my expectation was that we were going to come retest it and fail. I did not really allow it to retest and fail. I got a little impatient on my trade. I got into the trade a little early. Once it held, I'll have to go back to the trigger chart, which I'm going to do in just 1 second. Once the value area low held, our new expectation was, if we can get above it with an impulsive move, look to buy pullbacks above the value area low, because the expectation was that it was coming to VPOC, which is exactly where it did. In fact, we said above VPOC, it would be making its way towards, and it's this VPOC I'm referring to. Let me get this out of the way for a second. We had said we're expecting it to come to this VPOC, which it did, and if we can get above that, into this value area high from 2 days ago, which it ultimately did, and in fact it even pushed up further. Okay, so there are no levels for us to adjust. Let us put in a mark at yesterday's swing low. So let's copy, paste. And yesterday's high, which matches up exactly with value area high. Let's stretch out our micro composite. Since yesterday's trading stayed within the micro composite, we can continue to watch this one. Okay. And let's see what happens here. Okay, nice. Let's see where we're trading. Currently, 39 even. Okay. So what do we have? We are opening inside yesterday's value area. Okay, so we are looking to see if we test both ends of yesterday's value area, the value area low, value area high. We'll watch to see how those trade. So we'll start with a test of value area low, overnight low, hold, turn back up into yesterday's VPOC, overnight VPOC, value area high, which is all in this jumbled mess of levels, test into overnight high. And here we're going to watch the see. So one hypo is going to be a break above, bringing us into the micro composite VPOC right here. That's going to be hypo 1. Let me get rid of that last thing I did for us. Hypo 1. Hypo 2 is going to look like this. A test, hold, push back up into these levels, and then a hold here, turn back down. This can happen in either order, okay? That would be still just fine. We're going to call this hypo 2. Hypo 3 is going to be push down, ultimately get below value area low, overnight low, make our way down towards low of day yesterday, and then see if we can't make it to low of day from last week's low. And then honestly, if we get down there, we're gonna probably we're gonna watch for a run towards the bottom of this micro composite, and I think if we test that, we can see that hold. This is going to be hypo 3. Okay, that's all we need for S&P this morning. Let's get this out of the way, and I do just want to check one thing on yesterday's chart. It's going to be very quick, and then I'm going to pause until we get to the open. So here was our open yesterday. Okay, and what I need to do, let me extend this out for a second. And this, so I don't know how well you could see it. This little blue dotted line, this is the value area low from the previous trading day. And what we were watching was, you see how we opened below it, we tested it, it held, we pushed below it. This looked like a nice impulsive move down away from it. But what I didn't do is I didn't give it an opportunity to come up here and give us a nice short setup. What it actually did is it came up, got above it, and held. And now, after it pushed away, if we didn't like a trade here, if we didn't look for a long opportunity here because of how close we were to high of day, now it pushes away again. Nice impulsive move away, retest down to VWAP. This gives us a nice trade opportunity here, because at this point we are saying that we've gotten above value area low. We're looking for a decent long setup, and now once we have it, the next expectation is right there. What just happened to this red dotted line is the VPOC from the previous day, and that's exactly what we were looking for. This test first, and you can't see it because it's in this jumbled mess. There's the value area high as well. So those were the two targets that we had, the VPOC and value area high. So got in a little bit early on my short. I really should have let it develop into a short trade, which it would not have done. But that's what happened. That's what happened to me yesterday morning with this. Oil worked out differently. Oil was just fine. Okay, so let's get rid of that. All right, I will pause the video and I'll be back with you guys before the open. I'll pause it in just a second when I find the button. Okay, be back. All right, we got about 2.5 minutes or so to the open. Figured I'll just get back on here now. Let's see what the S&P's done. Okay, nothing really. I'm really curious to watch now what happens if we get a push back up into this former swing, basically into this consolidation area here. If near the top of this consolidation area can hold, if we see some sellers step in, that might be a nice setup for a short. On the flip side, towards the bottom side here, we have the value area low below us, overnight low below us. Let's watch to see. Sure, buddy. Let's watch to see what the BBs do at that point. I don't know how many more candles will form between now and the open, but let's watch to see how the BBs set up for potential long. And that's one of the ways that we as in me, should be limiting our entries. We really should wait to look for the proper setups above and beyond just the description of, okay, double bottom here towards the low, retest the value area low, whatever it is. We should also look to see confirmation from the BBs, and then, like you've seen me doing or trying to do, add order flow in for the very fine tuning. No, actually, you got it, buddy. Actually, today we're seeing our levels better than we were yesterday. If you remember, there was one giant bid somewhere, and that seems to have gone away. Okay, good. Okay, so our histogram is helpful again. And what do we got? About 40 seconds? Okay. Also, here in oil, we're coming right up against this low volume area, this area that acted as here, very similar, I mean, almost identical setup to what we saw here in the S&P. We just had a strong push up off of this semi-double bottom down there towards overnight low. Okay, let's see what we get. So we ultimately did open. Take a look here. I think that chart's not responding. There we go. So we opened below value area low, below yesterday's low. So we have our gap down here. Strong push down now. Yes, I can, buddy.
Stand up. The real maximum. Stand up. Please stand up. I stand up. Whoa!
So we see here, I'm going to remember this for the open of the S&P. We see here how we just barely spiked up into the right below the low volume area, and then turned down by a good 10 ticks. Let's see what comes next.
What does it mean, triple? That was a 4. That's tetra. That's a triple.
So depending on how it happens, we may or may not have positive divergence as we come down into this consolidation down here. We're going to want to see what the BBs look like if we continue to make our push down there.
All right, now we gotta go.
Now you have to go.
We got a low volume node right in here. Just kind of got to wait it out at this point. Really no great trade setup that I can see. Excuse me. I don't know if you can hear that, but my son somehow or another has gotten into Tetris, and that boy loves to sing the Tetris song, and I can't get it out of my head. So hopefully some of you get it stuck in your head too. Why not? You get to join into our Tetris clan. Not much happening. Okay, making a push back towards current low of day. We do see some bid stacking up there, and right above us now we got a 120 some odd offer, and right above that now we've seen 138 add in. and that's starting to blink. Starting to go in, disappear, go in, disappear. Okay, so there. Let's bring back in this homework chart for a second and show you what we just did. Right, so you see we have our level drawn down here. We just tested the bottom end of this void, this gap between this high here and this low here. Let's see if that holds. That particular level certainly could present itself as a nice trade opportunity if something sets up down there. And if it comes and tests like it just did and it bounces away, for me, there's really nothing I can do with that. If we see that and hold, the natural expectation for me would be to then see a retest of the upper end of that gap, which happens to coincide with overnight VPOC. This whole area here, yesterday's close, yesterday's low. This would be the upper end of that test. So real slowdown in price action. So again, we have a couple of larger offers that were there, both over 100 contracts, and that's larger relative to what we have seen recently. I also I think rollover is tomorrow or Friday morning, so we're probably splitting volume between the May contract up here. You see we're trading. Oh, sorry. We're trading the May-July contract, but there are others that are probably trading. There's probably quite a few people now trading the June contract. So I would think we're seeing a split in volume between May and June. What I was trying to show you is here. Maybe easier to do that. There, you can see we're trading the CL May 17 contract. Nice looking candlestick setup for a push here. Let me just check something real quick. Sorry. Yeah, we're going to be rolling over in a couple of days, so definitely. Let me see what the volume looks like here. Yeah, so the May contract, I don't know if this, I think this is for all of yesterday. Let me pull this up here for a second. So we are showing a volume yesterday of 124,000. And if you look on, not that I expect you to, so I'll just tell you, if on the CME website that shows you volume for what I believe is the 24-hour session, May was 326,000 yesterday. June was 227,000. So the May is still trading more volume, but we're splitting that volume about 60-40. I'll tell you the truth, I really should have rolled over. Probably should have already rolled into June, but maybe I'll do tomorrow. I think today I'm going to look to see if somebody has written an indicator that will mark off previous swing highs and swing lows, like I go backwards in time to do. The only problem is, even if they have one, will that allow me to transpose those over to my trigger chart? So if I use it on my hourly chart, will that transpose to my trade chart? I'm gonna have to mess around with that. Because I'm just thinking now, rollover, it doesn't take long, but when I roll over with the way that I draw out my levels, I need to go on that new chart. I have to go and redraw all those levels, all the former microcomposite, VPOCs, all the former swings, and so on. I wonder if there's a way for me to have it do it for me. I'll have to look into that. Really, nothing happening. Nothing happening in an oil here. And I am also looking at somebody else's chart that is trading the June contract, and the same thing is happening there. So it's not that we're missing an opportunity because we are trading the May contract. There's just no movement this morning. So oil looks like it's making a push up here, trying to get back to current high of day. BBs don't really show much negative divergence from, in fact, I'm sorry, they show no negative divergence from when we got to this high to where we are now. Notice we've only traded 4 candles in 17 minutes. I mean, that is just absolutely nothing. And I am looking now, the June contract is higher in volume today than the May contract. I should have rolled over there. I think what we're going to do, considering the way this is looking, I am going to roll over on another screen. You're not going to see what I'm doing. I'm just going to go and get myself started. Okay. So we saw that test of the current high day currently fail. So we're just frozen up a little bit while I'm waiting for the screen to reload. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just drawing out. I'm just drawing out the swings on my. I'm putting them on the June chart now. Okay. So crude's come off the high, testing VWAP right now. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask a little bit here, but not much for me to tell you on what's cooking with crude right now. Okay, let's go up to the top side. I know you guys aren't seeing this, so probably a lot of me just yapping. You think I'm talking to myself, but I promise you I'm not. Well, I guess I am. Sorry. Okay, so that gives me enough for now. Put in some microcomposite VPOCs and see what time we have. 7 minutes to equities open. Okay, plenty of time. Okay. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, that's going to be it for now for what gets drawn in. Right now, we should have enough levels. I mean, if we end up making a sharp move up or down, I will continue to come in and go further back and draw in more levels. But for now, I should have all the levels I need for any realistic expectation of trading right now. So let's do this. Okay. And in the meantime, oil really hasn't done much of anything. Okay. So we're going to see the screen disappear for a minute and then come back on. And when that happens, we should be seeing June contracts for all of our crude oil windows, the BBs, the trigger chart. Might not have timed this perfectly. We got the open coming up in a minute or so. Oh, looks okay. I think we'll be okay. Good. So we can see there are more candles here in the June contract. Not necessarily better trade opportunity. We do get this nice little candle setup down here, but still, we didn't come to that gap, the bottom of that gap area overnight VPOC. All the areas that we would have liked to have seen it come to before looking for a long. So it doesn't change the fact that no real trade, at least none that I found, no real good trade setup. But like I said, I should have rolled. But that wasn't that bad. It didn't take that long. Okay, here comes the open. BB showing positive divergence right now. If we were to come retest this low, this overnight low here, it looks as if the BBs would have positive divergence, but we'll see if that actually happens. Sitting right at yesterday's value area low. This is a carbon copy of how we started yesterday. So we're going to have some conflicting ideologies here. When we come to overnight low, we're really going to want to see a nice long setup, because at the same time we are below value area low, which leads us to believe that if we stay below there, we're making a further push down. Okay, here's a push down. Let's see what the BBs look like. You see we have this consolidation back here. So we're watching for a pullback into that consolidation. Big sell right there in the S&P. While we're watching the S&P, looking here towards overnight low with the positive divergence on the BB, just as a quick glance back over to crude, we've pushed up again, kind of testing this previous top, but we do have what could become negative divergence if crude pushes to the top. So I'm watching for a pullback here in the S&P. If I can get one more pullback down, I think we're going to look to get a long. Might have missed it though. Let's see. We didn't really push where I would have liked to have seen us push up a little further before that pullback. So I'm gonna watch order flow here for a second. That's kind of more what I was looking for. Push up like this, then looking for the pullback. But might have. Let's see. Darn it. missed our long here. So what we want to see now is we want to see a value area low here will hold if we get a pushback. That was a nice impulsive move up above value area low. We want to see if this will hold if we get a pullback to it, and that will put us exactly back into the scenario of yesterday, where we're looking to buy a pullback. If it happens now, we're looking to buy a pullback towards value area low with a decent setup. And then the expectation is to push up all the way through into yesterday's VPOC and ultimately potentially yesterday's value area high. So let's see. Oh, big, big block of bids just came in. Holy crap. Oil, really, we don't have any decent negative divergence here at the top, so we're not going to look for any shorts there. We're going to be watching to see if this can't make its way back up to the upper end of that gap area, that 5302, which is right here. Really missed 2 entries here to the S&P. So we're coming up towards this. Remember, we talked about how we have this low volume area here. Let's see if we get any type of resistance there. I'm not going to look to trade that on its own. I'm going to need some confirmation from some price action, possibly some order flow. But this area here, well, apparently I'm not the only one. You got 1,400 and some odd people throwing out offers here. So crude here, we got negative divergence on the 610, but only the 610. So still looks like it's going to want to continue to push up into, to get back up to here's yesterday's low. Here's this gap zone, the upper end of the gap zone. Still looks like it's going to try to make a way up there. Excuse me. Big buy in the S&P there. So here's that low volume area. Huge sell just came in there. Again, we're not the only ones seeing this. That sell came in just ahead of this low volume node. So again, we're not just going to jump into a short here because of this low volume node. We really need to see some stuff line up. I mean, right now I'm more interested in looking for longs than shorts. And again, we have set up exactly as we did yesterday. came below the low volume node. Sorry, low value area low, I should say. Only this time we didn't jump the gun. We didn't try to get short as we came up to it. We waited for a setup. Once we broke through it, we missed our chance on this pullback. And now it's where we're looking to buy pullbacks, and we're waiting to see if we can't get up and test the VPOC from yesterday, right above overnight VPOC, right at yesterday's close. We got a lot of things happening up there, a lot of levels that can easily act as magnets to try to attract price up to it. Big offer just came down here on the S&P. Let's see if we can't get a pullback down towards 21 EMA, VWAP. That would be nice. Not quite. not even close. Buyers are still stepping in. That really should have been a decent morning of trading. Should have been into some contracts here, closed out some on this push up. Should have been into some more contracts here, closed out on the way up. So we've seen this now hold as resistance. We've seen the slow volume node push buyers down. Now let's see if we can't get a decent enough pullback, at least what we consider decent enough, what I consider decent enough, to look for a long opportunity here. Now, to continue this out, since this is going to take longer than the amount of time I'll be in front of the screen, but what could happen is we can get our pullback, consolidate, come up back to this area, but at this point the BBs could look like here, I'll just show it. The BBs can look like this, giving you your negative divergence. Now that would give us potential short opportunity at these current highs a day. But that is not happening. Right now, our pullbacks are only coming down 7 ticks from the high, and then we are rebuilding up some steam and trying to push up through, which makes sense right now. That's what we were expecting. We're expecting to continue to push up at least until overnight VPOC and yesterday's VPOC, yesterday's close, all in this, what is this, 44.75, 45 area. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's just what we are expecting based on our homework before the start. Excuse me, before the open. And what we've seen so far. There we go. Not much for us to do at this point. We missed our trade, but really, I don't really want to chase this up. That's not to say that we wouldn't be looking to buy on pullbacks. Now we have an added level to watch. We have this consolidation here, and we would potentially be willing to buy pullbacks into that consolidation. I'd rather see the pullbacks come a little deeper towards this VWAP 21 EMA current middle of day. Oil has just burst into the top of this gap zone here, just got filled. Truthfully, the oil I really didn't this is a decent setup. I really did I just didn't see anything in oil. Definitely not on this move down. There was absolutely nothing there for me, maybe into this consolidation, but I really didn't see any of that. On this push up, this pullback down below VWAP, and then a strong push above it, that okay, I can see that, but I really didn't see any real obvious trades for crude. But at this point, we have filled the gap into yesterday. We have closed the gap zone that we saw on the other chart. We're now coming towards value area low from yesterday's close, and it's just going to be a question of how much strength does this move have? Can we get into yesterday's value area and push up to at least VPOC, potentially value area high from yesterday? Or are we going to fail and turn somewhere in between here and there? S&P continuing to do exactly what we expected it to do. You can see with S&P every stair step up, a little consolidation, a little consolidation. Let's see what happens in this area here. Oil still looks like there's some strength here. It looks like people are stepping up. We see some large buy orders just went off here. S&P pulled back here. Not by much though. Okay, S&P pulling back here, coming down towards 21 EMA. BBs have turned down. You can see the 1597 and the 2584. 1597 has turned down, 2584 has leveled off. So buyers are stepping in down here. Let's see what happens. Pull back in oil as well. So oil got to value area low and failed. The move stopped there. S&P, we have refreshing sellers right here, right at this offer. Let's see if they can push these buyers down just for a second. Okay. $41.50. We had a refreshing seller there. So we've come down to the 21 EMA in the S&P. We also just touched 21 EMA in crude. And crude has some bids stacking up. They're flashing in and out, so forget that. So I'm here watching the S&P. I am looking for a long opportunity here. I'm taking along here in the S&P. Buyers were refreshing right there. So 41.50, this is the level we need to get through. This is where we had the refreshing offer here. So we just got up to it, but didn't actually test it. Let's see now, there's 370, 440. They're adding on to it again. What? I have no idea where this is coming from, but I just heard an advertisement in my... What the hell? Well, that was a little distracting. What the hell was that? So oil pushed up. Let's see if we can't get the same type of follow through here with the S&P. We got up past that 41.50. That was the spot. Now we got to see if we can't do the same here. We have a large offer right above current high a day. BBs look okay. 2584 and 4181 still look just fine. 1597 shows a little negative divergence on the S&P. Another test there at the higher day. Let's see if we can't push through here. Okay, coming up towards our profit target. Let me get ready to slide this down if I... I'm going to take my 2 points here. Okay, there we go. We got one. Got one. You know, a little hesitant. Just hesitant this morning. When I watch this video and I hear myself say right here, I'm looking for a pullback to buy, and then I get a pullback and I don't buy. Usually my wife is next to me when I watch these because she's traded before and she's fairly familiar with at least the terminology. This would be new for her, this type of, you know, volume profile and stuff like that. But she'll hear me say that, and you know, she'll see it happen and she'll start asking me questions, and that's when I know that I fucked up, because if I can't answer those questions, like why didn't you buy? I don't really have an answer for that. So I'll be questioning myself later on today, but that's okay. Looks like we're gonna still looks like S&P is gonna try to get to that VPOC from yesterday. Now it's just a question of, will it break and go towards value area high? Will VPOC act as resistance? Here we see on oil, value area low has acted as resistance now a couple of times here, with a slight negative divergence on the 610 and the 987. If ultimately this can hold, our expectation is going to be a move down at least towards middle of day, and then we kind of have to watch to see what happens from there. Are we going to ultimately push down and get to the bottom end of that gap zone, versus if we can break above value area low, test it from above, see it hold as support, then our expectation is that we're going to make a move in towards value area high, overnight high, you know, stuff like that. That reminds me, let me put that in here. So I'll just do that before I go. I'm not going to be looking for any more trades this morning. I'm just going to finish putting in the overnight stuff. So I have these prepared for tomorrow. Okay. So here's crude getting up into yesterday's value area. Immediate push towards the VPOC. S&P has still not gotten to VPOC. Awfully close. All right, there's crude getting up to that VPOC. Again, even here, just not enough of a pullback for me in crude to look to get into that long there. But crude has just taken off. Was there a news release at 10 o'clock? I mean, holy goodness. Goodbye. All right, I got everything set up now for tomorrow. At least we have our levels ready. Other than that, as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to get in touch. If your question is why didn't I go along earlier today, just watch the video. You hear me tell you 100 times over that my bad. All right, until tomorrow. Have a